My fiancé abandoned me on our wedding day for his sister, caused my cancer-stricken mother died of heartbreak, but when I packed to leave, he brought her home. Now I've slapped his true love and discovered their cruel lie about my mother's illness. I raised my head and my eyes were filled with stubbornness. Bradley suppressed his anger. Nicole, don't make me angry. To be honest, I had always been afraid of Bradley. Whenever he frowned, I would subconsciously give in and admit my mistakes, and he wouldn't even need to say a word. That was because I cared about him at that time. But now I don't care about anything. However, Kiana was not satisfied with this. Bradley, I don't want her to apologize. She hit me. I want her to pay back. Hearing this, Bradley glanced at me, trying to make me give in. But I still looked rebellious. My attitude provoked him. Bradley deliberately wanted to teach me a lesson. With one glance, his 2 bodyguards came out of nowhere and held me down. I didn't have the strength to struggle, and I didn't even want to struggle. Kiana walked up to me proudly, raised her hand and slapped me a few times. Blood flowed from the corners of my mouth. I said nothing and sat down on the ground in discomfiture. Bradley looked down at me and said, "You owe Kiana this. Apologize to her now and I can pretend that nothing happened." I suddenly laughed. "You wish." Bradley narrowed his eyes and said, "Nicole, as long as you are obedient, I can give you everything you want, including marriage. Have you really thought it through?" He didn't want to give to me when I wanted. Now I don't want it anymore. But he was trying to use threats and inducements to make me compromise. I endured the pain on my face and said coldly, "Bradley, I have said the breakup, and I will not marry you." Maybe it was because I loved him too much before. Bradley didn't believe that I would leave him. Let alone he promised me the marriage I had always dreamed of. He sneered. "What? Don't you want to fulfill your mother's dying wish?" I detected a hint of contempt in his words. But before I could say anything, Kiana seemed to have caught something on me. "Bradley, I said she was lying to you. If her mother was really dying, how could she have such an attitude? Don't be fooled by her." I couldn't stand it anymore. "Shut up. You have no right to talk about my mother." My continuous disobedience completely infuriated Bradley. "I hope you won't regret it." Bradley sneered and called his assistant. To make sure I could hear clearly, he turned on the speaker. "Caleb, I asked you to contact Matching Together this morning, now cancel it. Matching Together was the best wedding company in the country. And cancel Mrs. Simpson's surgery." Bradley thought he could threaten me, so he stared at me while he spoke. I just looked at him without any reaction. Caleb hesitated for a moment and finally spoke, "Mr. Xavier, Mrs. Simpson passed away 3 days ago, on the day of your wedding.